Hello everyone, and welcome to today's stream of Vault of the Void, a new roguelike deck building game that is quite a bit different from Monster Train or even Slay the Spire. This is currently the beta version. It's a closed beta, but I got the permission to stream the game, so I'm gonna show it off to you guys. If you are interested in playing the game yourself, you can head over to the Discord of the developer and request a key there. As far as I know, they are trying to get as many people into testing the game as possible right now, so there should be plenty of keys available. I'll post the Discord link in chat just in case. So, let's take a look. So we have the introduction. Start here if you're new to Vault of the Void. First floor only on a smaller modified map. Great for learning the mechanics. This is the only game mode which will show the tutorial tooltips. So let's jump in and see what we have. So our first class is the Hidden. Cloaked in Shadow, a master of bleed. We have the option to choose between one of two starter decks. We have Bleed and Blade. Let's start with the first one, that seems to be Bleed. Hi Mists, welcome. Glad to see you. So, for Bleed, our starting deck is 9 Draw Blood. 1 cost, attack, Swift from the Hidden. Inflict 5 damage, inflict an additional 3 if the target is bleeding. We have Parry, ability Block the Hidden, block 5. We have For the Throat, attack, bleed, Swift again. The Hidden. Hidden is just our class, so this is a class card. This is an attack, this is an ability. Swift, we'll see later some cards to reference that. Apply bleed 5. We also have from Shadow, block 8 and apply bleed 3. Our starting spell. We have a starting artifact as well. Let's just jump in the game and see what all of this does. At the start of the game we also get a booster pack to get us started on our journey. These cards will not be immediately added to your deck, they will be added to our backpack instead. Now, unlike other deck building games, we basically can construct our deck from the cards we have. So, your deck. This is your deck, you have the ability to change and edit your deck at any time. As you become more familiar with encounters, adjusting your deck before a fight will become crucial. Your deck must always be 20 cards. Certain cards like potions and weakness don't count toward your deck limit. Your backpack, as you progress through the map, you'll earn and buy new cards. These will be added to your backpack. You can add a card to your deck by clicking it. Click and hold to dismiss. Yep. Void Stones. As you damage creatures, you will earn points towards new Void Stones. Void Stones can be socketed into cards to give them new powers. So here on the right we have these Void Stones. Here are our cards that are currently in our backpack, and on the left we can see our current deck. So it's similar to something like MTG or Hearthstone or Mythgard, where you construct your deck in advance. But it's also limited to the cards we currently have access to, and we gain access to new cards by winning fights. So in that regard, it's similar to a traditional deck builder like Slay the Spire. So because we have so many draw bloods and not that many cards to apply bleed, maybe we remove a draw blood and add in a For the Throat, so we have a bit more bleed. We could also add remove a parry and add in another From Shadow. This also has bleed on it. Also, if the attack cards played will also deal bleed 1. Expel. Expel, remove from battle after playing. That makes sense. Let's also add this in. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 parry cards, 11 attacks. Let's remove one more parry card and add in something extra. So just focus on the bleed cards for now. This also seems like it's a strict upgrade on parry, the Surefoot, block 5 and rage. Sure, let's upgrade a parry with a Surefoot without too much thinking about what it actually does. We will look at that in combat, and I will also look at the Void Stone after this first combat. So we have the choice between these two rooms. Mob room. Minions of the Void roam these rooms, swearing fealty to their unholy master. These are your standard combat encounters, often offering a card reward for clearing the room, as well as some souls and essence. Essence is our base currency. You currently have 300 essence, the main currency in World of the Void, gained by clearing mob elite guardian rooms as well as treasure rooms. Basically like gold in Monster Train or Slay the Spire. And we also have souls. Currently have 0 souls. You can gain souls mainly by fighting mobs, however they can be found elsewhere. Tradable at the Soul Collector and various other event rooms. You can unleash your unspent souls when you reach the wall to inflict damage to the Void. So if we have any souls left over when we reach the final boss, we can unleash them to deal damage to the final boss, so they're not wasted in that regard. This one is a Soul Collector where we can spend our souls. For example, here we have an up arrow on this encounter. This means that we will be able to upgrade a card after clearing this. We can also see the card reward that's gonna be offered to us in advance. So here we get Nick, inflict bleed 3, draw 1, and here we get kneecaps, apply weak 2. I think even though we are into bleed, let's go for the upgrade room. So let's go with that. Also, if it seems like the sound in this game is a little loud, I think I'm gonna reduce it a little bit. That should be a bit better. Just tell me if there are any audio issues or whatever. I think it should be fine now with the sound volume. So let's jump into our first fight. So before the fight we see information about what we are about to face. The Forsaken. Those who wander this domain for too long will inevitably become Forsaken one way or the other. These desperate souls have found this fate. Fight tips: a well-rounded fight, but you must still be wary of letting them buff their AP too many times. I'm assuming that means attack power. We fight the Dark Acolyte, the Void Enchantress, and the Throat Cutter. We do have the chance to manage our decks or our spell here in advance, so in case we see something that requires a certain strategy, we can basically sideboard cards in and out for this deck. We can change our deck a little just to be better prepared for what we are facing. But let's jump in, because we don't have very many cards right now at all. So, all cards in Vault of the Void have an energy cost shown in the top left corner. You'll start each fight with 3 energy and gain 2 every turn. The color of the circle will denote what type of card it is. Red is an attack, blue is an ability, and green is a buff. Drag a card from your hand now to play it. So, let's start. Okay. So, on top we have the battle progress bar. Each creature you kill will add points to the battle progress bar. Once the bar is filled, creatures will stop respawning. So until then, they will respawn every turn. They will respawn, I think, at the end of their turn, until the bar is filled. And then once we killed enough to fill the bar, we have to kill the remaining enemies to win the fight. There's also the Voidstone bar. Every point of damage you deal to a creature will fill your Voidstone bar. Once filled, the new Voidstone will be added to your backpack. Here is our relic, Sneak Artist. Every time you move to an empty tile, tick this value up by 1. At the start of combat, the first creature you play an attack card against will suffer vulnerable X, where X is equal to this value. At the start of combat, the first creature you play an attack card against. So we can apply some vulnerability. Bleed suffers damage per stack after enemy turn. Ticks down by 1 when triggered. Ignores Fortitude. Whoop! Apparently I immediately targeted that. +1 energy. Purging cards. Vault of the Void combat centers around the purge mechanic. Choosing which card to play and which to purge for energy is key, and keeps combat moving quickly. Let's purge a card now. Mouse over a card and hold down the right mouse button to purge a card from your hand, sending it to your discard pile and granting you +1 energy. We have too many of these. No, actually we don't need From Shadow this turn. So let's purge that for 1 energy. So the vulnerable suffers 50% more damage, ticks down by 1 each turn, so they will die to the bleed after their turn. So I presume, at least. So we can draw blood on this guy twice. We can also just kill them right before they can act by using this. So, we now filled the battle progress bar, so no more enemies will spawn. So let's end the turn. Cards in your hand will never be discarded automatically, meaning you can carry them into the next turn. Unlike things like Monster Trainer or Slay the Spire. Also, your energy will carry across turns. It can often be a good idea to purge cards in your hand to set up a nice energy pool for next turn. Monster turn. It's now the creature's turn to act. You can mouse over an enemy to see the details. Whoops! That tooltip went away very quickly. So, when monsters deal damage, it's applied to your threat stack, here in the middle. Playing cards that grant block will reduce your threat stack. Block is played reactively. If you have no threat, then playing block is wasted. The small orbs around your threat stack are debuffs or status effects, and they will light up when you're suffering a condition. Any leftover threat when you end your turn will be removed from your HP. So, currently we have 2 incoming damage because this guy attacked for 2 last turn. Now we could parry to block it, but we could also end the fight by killing that enemy, if that's something we are capable of. So we have 2 energy this turn. Let's purge the From Shadow. And we play Surefoot to block, reducing the incoming damage to 0. And granting us Rage. All attack cards played this turn will deal X% more damage, 25% right now. Then we can play For the Throat to apply bleed and then draw blood to almost kill the enemy. Finally, we could purge the parry. We could also keep it in hand, but unlike Slay the Spire or Monster Train, you don't draw just a certain amount of cards each turn. Instead, you draw up to your hand of 5 each turn. So if I purge the parry now, I will draw an additional card from the deck instead. And that's good because I gain an energy that way. So let's move on to the next turn. This guy attacks and then dies to bleed. We got a perfect victory because we didn't take any damage, so we get some extra essence. 52 essence, another 30 essence, 1 soul, an upgrade point, and kneecaps. Apply weak 2. Weak reduces AP by 25% attack power to a minimum of 1, ticks down by 1 each turn. So, now we can upgrade a card. Can we... Oh, we can preview this just by mouse overing these. Block 5 becomes 8 on a parry, bleed becomes 8 on a For the Throat, draw blood becomes 6 damage, additional 5 with bleeding. Surefoot becomes Rebound. Rebound, the first time this card is played in a turn, it will be returned to your hand. And because it stays in your hand, you can keep it there and play it again next turn, for example. That's pretty neat. Or you could just play it again the same turn to stack up the rage, for example. From Shadow becomes bleed 5 and block 12, and something extra increases in cost, but it will also add an additional bleed from all swift attack cards. Which I think all of our attacks are swift. But it becomes 3 costs, so that's something to consider. I really like the rebound on Surefoot, so let's upgrade that. Planning your path. You can change the color of a hex to help with planning your path. So right click on a hex to change the color. So we can, for example, well, we only have this option right now, but then we could, for example, go here. Can we go there? I'm not sure. We can, for example, plan our path in advance, something like this, perhaps. And this just means you can plan your path in advance and don't have to reconsider after every fight. You can just stick to your plan or whatever. So, let's talk about Void Stones next. Black Void Stone. This is the one we currently have. So, let's look at what it does. We can socket that into a card and the card gains Inert and Ghost. Ghost means when you play a card with Ghost, a volatile copy will be added to your hand. Volatile means it can be purged and it's destroyed when played or at the end of turn. So when we play the card, we get the card again for one more use that same turn. And Inert means when a card with Inert triggers multiple times, the Void Stone will only trigger on the first and then become disabled for the remainder of the turn. So we can't just keep making copies over and over again. It just works once. That would be probably good on something like For the Throat. Maybe not. Maybe it's better off on a draw blood here. Let's just socket it and see how this goes. So when we play that, we get another copy of that the first time we play that in a turn. We gain another copy of it. Do we want to include the kneecaps? Maybe, but probably not for now. Okay, so on to the next fight. We have Gloom Shrooms and Blight Wards. An aggressive fight with creatures that can both stack poison and increase their own frenzy. It can get tough to withstand their attacks for too long. Can you unsocket the gems? I don't think so. I think that's not possible. Oops. I think once they are socket, they remain socketed for good. Can I... Yeah, I don't think I can remove them. Here in the Void's domain, even the vegetation is abhorrent as all else. Instead of light, these hateful plants thrive amidst the pollination of foul corruption. Okay, just a few more things about threat. Once a creature attacks and inflicts damage to your threat stack, it's there to stay. Even if you defeat the creature, you'll still have to deal with the threat. Combat is a fast-paced, swirling mess. If a creature attacks, you have to parry. The only exception to that is if you manage to kill all creatures and clear the room, ending the fight, representing your ability to escape from danger in the nick of time. It's quite common to get a final kill on the last creature, dodging a good chunk of damage as you do so. Hey berries, welcome! Yeah, it definitely looks very interesting, right? So, we also have our spell, which we haven't looked at yet. Backstab, 3-turn cooldown. Target creature suffers 3 bleed. If the target is currently planning an attack action, suffers 5 bleed and weak 1 instead. So, Poison Spores applies poison 1, Strangle applies stun 1, and Carnivorous passive. At the start of its turn, this creature will consume the leftmost Gloom Shroom, increasing its frenzy by 1. This ability will not increase the battle progress bar. So they will kill a Gloom Shroom, but without increasing the battle progress bar, so the Gloom Shroom will just respawn. But once the battle progress bar will be completely filled if we kill just the Blight Ward, so maybe we should focus on that. Frenzy is the circle here in the top right corner. This works basically the same as multi-strike in Monster Train. They just attack a number of times equal to their frenzy count. So these currently have frenzy 1, but the Blight Ward will start increasing that. So let's start with playing out this buff. Card effects that will last for the entire battle. Their effects can be stacked. Swift cards will have the Swift keyword, so all our attacks currently are Swift, so all will benefit from this. And expel removed from the battle after playing. So let's play something extra. We don't need parries in the first turn, because there's no threat yet. So we can purge them. Then we can go for the throat on this Blight Ward to apply quite a bit of bleed. You know what? Let's also use the backstab on that guy as well. Oh, that's... yeah. No, we added another 3 bleed. That's not a swift attack, of course, so it doesn't benefit from the something extra. So they have 15 bleed, and because of the vulnerable, they will take 23 damage, which should kill them at the end of their turn. So, we got poisoned and stunned. Stun. At the start of your turn, you will lose energy equal to your stun value, removed at the end of your turn. So we lost 1 energy to that, and poison. At the start of your turn, you will suffer damage equal to your poison value, ticks down by 1 at the end of your turn. So that's why we have 2 threat incoming this turn, because of the poison. We can still defend against the poison if we have to, but we can just end the fight right here. Okay, another bunch of essence, some souls, an upgrade point, and we get rinse and repeat. Recur the top card. Yep, bleed in this game is affected by vulnerable, apparently. Recur. Return a chosen card from your discard to your hand. So we can get the top card of our discard back to our hand. That seems not that useful right now. We can also upgrade cards in our backpack. Kneecaps becomes weak 4. Recur the top card, gain overcharge. Overcharge, gain +1 energy each turn. Maximum energy increased by 1 per stack, ticks down by 1 each turn. So this would also refund refund the energy we spend on it next turn, basically, with the overcharge, and increase our maximum energy for a turn by 1. Interesting. And we have Smash, which currently deals 8 damage 2 times and gives us 25% rage, and would on upgrade deal 10 damage 2 times and 50% rage. But I think I currently want to improve the cards I am actually using, so let's upgrade something extra so every attack will apply bleed 2 instead. So now okay, the black squares represent the ones that become unavailable after we move. So we could move to this other fight here. That it isn't a choice between these two. We can do both in this case. We can move here, then there. Sure, let's take another upgrade fight. That seems quite reasonable. We also have that seems like a decent high block card. Enough. So let's go there and do another fight that gives us an upgrade. The Sisterhood. Swathed in a roiling haze of incense, these cohort of robed sisters walk an endless crusade in the name of their Lord Void. Enclosing with the deafening roar of whispered litanies, they call forth searing flames of holy vengeance drawn deep from their unshakable fervor. Increasing frenzy each turn, and able to both heal and remove debuffs, they require focused assaults to take down before they get out of control. But they start with 0 frenzy, so their attacks will do nothing right at the start. So if we can take them out early... Oh! They already got +1 frenzy. Under his eye, all attack cards played against this creature will heal them for 2. Gains +1 frenzy at the start of each turn. Okay. And these all have 20 health. But taking out any of these will fill the battle progress bar, so we don't have to worry about respawns. Our backstab isn't ready yet because we used it in the last fight, and the cooldown carries over between fights. So we need to be careful with that. Let's start focusing down one of these sisters. Let's also purge the parry. We could also purge the draw for blood, because currently we don't have bleed on these enemies. Bleed hard counters these enemies, right? Maybe, I'm not sure yet. It should be quite good, yeah. Because damage is done after the heal. Maybe that's good, yes. But it also mentioned that this will be able to counter, to dispel debuffs, so we'll have to see. I'm gonna purge this, so we have 4 energy next turn. And we don't have bleed on these yet, so... 4 threat, so if we parry we can prevent that. But they will gain more frenzy. Holy Fire inflicts burning 2. Suffer damage equal to burning at the start of your turn. Purging cards reduces burning by 1. Okay. I think I want to parry to the incoming damage. And try to... Do we play something extra? Probably. Let's go with the parry and something extra. Then we purge the other parry, so we can go for the throat. Shouldn't that be 7 bleed? All swift attack cards will also deal bleed equal to this value. We'll see about that. Yeah, it is 7. It's just not shown in the combat preview. And then let's purge the draw blood as well. We could also use our backstab again to quicken the... Actually, let's spread out the bleed here, so we have a better chance of being able to finish them both. Burning 2. We're getting close to getting another Void Stone as well. Pray. Clears all negative debuffs, so they will remove the bleed. I guess we should hit them. You gain the new Void Stone. They won't die because they will take the bleed damage afterwards, right? Maybe I should have played Surefoot first. We can block with Surefoot and then get the rebound. And then still purge it. We should purge some cards to remove the burning. I'm also gonna purge it from Shadow. And then I'm actually gonna use the From Shadow to apply some more bleed to them. Maybe could you use bleed to force them to pray every turn? That doesn't seem to work because this one is still attacking anyways. Despite having bleed on them. But we'll see. Now this one is praying and this one is attacking. I really want to remove the one that's attacking right now. Can we get the kill? 2 draw bloods. Or better for the throat and then a draw blood will kill this one. And then we can use 2 draw bloods to kill the rightmost one. Oh, that's the one with the ghost stone. That's good because that means we have 1 more attack we can use. And we managed to finish them off before taking the pretty large amount of damage. Our HP is on the top left. We currently have 100. Another upgrade point and an enough. What does the enough upgrade to? Block 20, gain overcharge 2. So it's actually 2 energy. No, it's +1 energy each turn, but the max energy increased by 1 per stack. So it basically refunds a lot of energy. I think I like that enough to upgrade and include that card in my deck. So let's get a parry out and include an enough. We also have the yellow Void Stone, block 4. So we can just add block 4 to a card. I'm gonna put that on Sure-Footed. I assure you wish to socket Sure-Foot with the yellow Void Stone. This will destroy any Void Stone currently. Or we can overwrite Void Stone as well. Yeah. So now it's block 5, rage 25, rebound block 4. So basically block 9 now. And it has rebound, so that's gonna be a very nice defensive tool for us. Hi Drago Tony Trua, welcome. Glad to see you. Let's move on towards the next room. Ghostly Piranha. The quiet blackness of the pool before you gives off unnerving tones. Beneath the surface you see hints of small green glowing shapes darting quickly around the blackness. These creatures will get stronger when inflicted with debuffs or when allies die. Take care with which ones you target when. Okay, gets stronger when inflicted with debuffs. That might be an issue. Without number. This creature will gain +1 frenzy the first time it suffers any debuff in a turn. Furthermore, this creature will gain +1 frenzy when another ghost piranha is killed. Start with purging 2 parries because we don't need them. And then we should probably try and focus down some of these. Apply vulnerable 1 and stun 1. Can apply 3 bleed and then deal 8 damage. This requires us to play an attack against them. Got it. We could also use the backstab. Bleed 3, then 8 damage, plus another bleed 5 means they will die. That is probably worth. Even though they do get 1 frenzy, they also get weakened, so the actual damage incoming did get reduced. I'm gonna play the From Shadow just for the bleed. And then I'm gonna purge the parry. So this guy will die to the bleed. Right, it's affected by vulnerable, so maybe we wasted some damage there. Scent of Blood applies 1 vulnerable and a stun. Vulnerable for us means we will take 50% extra damage when your wound stack triggers. Ticks down by 1 at the start of your turn. So we don't have to block more damage. We will just take more if we don't block it. So we can still block everything with just a From Shadow, for example. We also have to deal with stun. Kinda wanna set up something extra and enough this turn. Can we do that? I also wanna focus on the ones that already have gained some extra frenzy. And leave the weaker one for later. Let's start with the enough, which overcharges us. 2 overcharge, yeah. Blocks also our damage right now. So let's purge a Draw Blood and a For the Throat, and we play something extra. We could keep the From Shadow in hand, so we have some block next turn, because there will be 10 damage incoming. So having some block already in hand is good. And we don't have great block cards left in the deck except for the Surefoot, which we might or might not draw. So let's keep the From Shadow. That means we will draw 1 less card because we already have 1 in hand, and we draw up to 5. Not we draw 5. So... oh right, the stun removed 1 energy. I was like, don't we gain 1 more energy thanks to the overcharge? But yeah, it got removed by the stun. I kinda wanna remove the attacking piranha, if that's possible. As soon as possible. We can draw blood, but that would require us to purge the parry. I kinda wanna play the parry so I don't take any damage this turn. So let's just draw blood once. Alright, this is... well, we can't really make use of this, huh? Because it gets destroyed at the end of turn. Okay, good thing we have this Surefoot. That's gonna help us stay alive. Definitely play it for 9 block right now. We could play it again. I guess that's worth. It also gives us Rage. Let's purge these 2 cards so we can... We can kill one of these and the middle one will die to the bleeding. And perhaps next turn we can finish off the fight by killing the final Ghostly Piranha. That gets reshuffled. We can Surefoot it twice again to defend. This is 2 draw bloods. Yeah, that's lethal. If we go for the throat, then purge the Surefooted and the 2 non-void stoned draw bloods, we can play this twice and end the fight. For a perfect victory. Bleed it out. Trigger a target creature's bleed. Expel. Expel. So it gets removed after one use. I kinda want to get this treasure. Discarded loot. First come, first served. A choice of cards, card rewards along with some essence and chance of some upgrade points. Let's take a look. 21 essence, 2 souls. We can choose between Bite, block 16, combo 2. Combo. When you play any swift attack card, the swift keyword will be displayed below the card name. We've seen that before. It will trigger plus X times, where X is equal to your combo. Combo can grow higher than 3 and is reset after triggering. So this will allow us to basically triple cast the next card, the next swift attack. That sounds pretty powerful. We also have Redo, recur 1 random, expel, and another something extra. I do like the idea of Bite, comboing one of our bleed cards perhaps. Let's take that one. Also here's a spellbook. We currently only have backstab, but we can apparently find different spells as well, which we could use. Let's remove a From Shadow and add in a Bite. I'm gonna remove a From Shadow instead of a parry because of the cost mainly. From Shadow is quite expensive after all. And Bite serves a similar purpose as From Shadow, being defense and also offense. Redo has good socket usage. Does it? It expels after you use though. So it basically consumes. It's removed for the fight. We can go to an empty square here, which will not give us any rewards, but every time you move to an empty tile, take this value up by 1, so the Sneak Artist will go up. That's not even a bad idea. But I kinda wanna fight this elite. Stronger minion of the void, determined to keep you from reaching the guardian. These beasts are for 3 souls, an uncommon or rare card reward, and also an artifact. Building Steam. When you play a swift card, inflict 2 damage to a random creature, expel. It's also an upgrade here, so while this is not bad, I think I'm gonna go for the fight and the upgrade. Voidmaw. An ancient beast stalking beneath the surface, feeding on the energies of the void itself. It is whispered, the last thing its victims see is the universe echoed in the abyss of this creature's maw. Fight tips. A single creature fight where the beast gets stronger as you purge cards. Oh, it gets stronger as we purge cards. That's scary. Attacks for 8 times 1. Each time you purge a card, take this creature's feast value up by 1. When it reaches 6, it resets and it gains 2 AP. Has 90 health. I think this is where our bleed really starts to shine, because we can stack it up on a single target. So I wanna set up the something extra, purge these 2 cards, and then draw blood to apply some bleed right away. And even use our spell. If we use it early, it should be ready again for the next fight maybe. And the weakness is nice, and the extra bleed to get started is also quite nice. And now we can mainly play defensive from here on out, I think. If we purge 2 cards, we can enough and then play a For the Throat twice. Let's go with parry, then enough to block all the damage. No wait, that's the overcharge one, not the combo one. We can purge 2 more cards without them gaining any attack. So let's do that and go For the Throat for some more bleed. We gained a new Void Stone, very nice. Pink one this time. This one is the combo one. Well, that fully defends us as well as allowing us to deal a large amount of damage. I think it's time that we switch to direct damage here. That was some good damage. Raw! Increases its AP by 1 and deals 1 daze. Daze, unplayable weakness. Dazes are added to the top of your deck. Weakness, scrap, destroy. I don't know what that means exactly, but we'll see what scrap means. And if I don't purge any of these cards, then they won't gain attack. But it doesn't matter because we can make them die this turn. Right? And they're not attacking anyways. There we go. Beat the Void Maw. You get Building Steam. When you play a Swift card, inflict 2 damage to a random creature, expel. That's similar to our other power buff card. What does Bleed It Out upgrade to? Purge, apply Bleed 2 to all creatures. Purge cards from your hands. Some cards may have additional effects if purged. So if we purge Bleed Out, we can apply Bleed to everyone. That's very tempting. Building Steam goes up to 3 damage. I'm very interested in upgrading that one. Buy it goes up by 6 block. That's currently not as necessary. Let's go with Bleeding Out and add that to our deck. It seems like a useful card in some fights to finish off the enemy just by triggering their bleed again. But just the ability to purge it for 2 bleed to everyone seems good. Purple Void Stone, gain overcharge. Gain +1 energy each turn. Max energy increased. Yeah, gain overcharge on... Enough already gives us overcharge. Maybe something we play often, like For the Throat. That helps with the energy management. Are there an equivalent to colorless cards in the game? I think there are. I think we even have one in the deck. Surefoot is a colorless card as far as I can see. With the most of the cards have the hidden as part of their types. Bleed it out, for example, from Shadow. But enough, bite as well, but not enough or sure-footed. These I think are general cards that can be used by all classes. Or we can also save decks and load these deck layouts. So if you want to save your deck for a specific fight and then later on you encounter a similar fight, you can load that deck back up. But currently it seems like our deck just pretty much works for everyone. Another fight against the Sisterhood. I think we should be fine with them, with dealing with those. Okay, let's try this out. Start with something extra. Let's purge the bleeded out so we get 2 bleed to everyone, which is a nice start. And also purge the parry. You know, kind of interested in playing the sure-footed just for the 25% rage this turn, and then keep it in hand for the next turn. But is that worth the energy? Maybe we should also use the backstab, honestly. This one is attacking, so we can weaken them with using that. No, I think I'd rather have the extra energy. Yeah, we should be able to find a block card for next turn. If not, we take 1 damage, that shouldn't be too bad. Voidstone should probably be in cards you expect to always be in your deck, like generally useful block cards or your best offense cards. That also makes sense, yes. Alright, the burn. We can block with bite this turn. These 2 guys are praying. She will die to the bleed because she's not praying. So let's play the bite and then draw blood. That should kill this one. This further throw gives us overcharge, but the bleed will be removed, so it's not that useful to play it right now. And instead of overcharge, we can just purge it for an energy. That seems better. It also reduces our burning counter. There we go. Only 1 enemy left alive. It's 5 damage and we will have 1 bleed. These will deal 8 damage each. We can also apply the bleed with From Shadow. Yeah, that actually gives us the kill. Oh no, because of the heal. But we're not taking any damage anyway, so we might as well. They will die to the bleed after all. There we go. Got some essence of souls and light it up. Attack, swift, inflict 6 damage, gain overcharge. That seems useful. If we move here, we can no longer fight the elite. And I do want to. Oh, we have the map legend here. Just in case we want to know what any of this means. What's this? A shrine. Twisted shrine devoted to the worship of some being you'd rather not know about. A choice to heal, cleanse your deck of void cards, or to gain some extra essence and souls. Do we want to include the light it up? It seems a bit better than the draw for blood here. Gaining the overcharge, also dealing 1 higher base damage, but losing the extra damage if the target is bleeding. I think that's worth it overall. Let's take a look at this elite. Jaws of Death. This creature is nothing beyond primeval. One that stalks these endless depths with no malicious intent other than an instinct to feed. It is ancient beyond knowing. It is ancient beyond knowing who not even the void can claim as its master. This creature is immune to vulnerable and can also heal from bleed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Backup. Ability, utility, the hidden. Gain 5 volatile lighted up cards. Expel. So this adds 5 lighted up cards in hand, which we can't purge, but we can get a lot of damage and overcharge from them. That seems interesting. The Jaws of Death. 3 discarded items lay before you. Okay, here is another thing that's quite different from Slay the Spire or Monster Train. We get to choose the relic before the fight here. Slay the Spire mostly. Monster Train has the relics outside of fights usually. If you end your turn with 0 energy, gain overcharge from the Wizard's Hat. Rotten Egg. Each time you travel to an empty tile, heal 15% max HP. Or Dead Man's Drop. Each time your discard is reshuffled, block 10. Kind of like the idea of Dead Man's Drop. We can usually delay our discard reshuffle by a turn if that's useful. You may choose to disregard the items and gain 200 essence and 3 souls instead. Wizard's Hat seems good. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's also quite good. I think we should often be able to end our turn with 0 energy. Yeah, let's try the Wizard's Hat. I like it. 6 times 2 incoming Ancient Beast. This creature is immune to vulnerable. They are attacking, so let's use our spell immediately so we can also weaken them on top of applying 5 bleed. And then I guess we just apply as much bleed and damage as possible. And also end... Is gaining an overcharge better than purging the draw blood? I think it's about the same, right? So we gain an overcharge. So yeah, we just gained the 1 energy, and we still have the draw blood in hand. That was probably a mistake then. Yeah, I should have purged that. We can't block all the damage here. I really want to set up. We reduce bleed by 50 and then heal equal to current bleed value. Ooh, annoying. Let's play the something extra so we can apply more bleed over time. And then parry to prevent some damage, and finally draw blood for some output. And we trigger the Wizard's Hat again. They heal, but they also take the damage from the bleed still, so kind of evens out. We don't have any threat yet. And there's quite a bit incoming. I think I played a sure-footed once to gain the rage, so deal a bit more damage. And I think I purge these 2 and play enough to get the overcharge. And then next turn we have sure-footed for defense. At the very least. We also have bite here. I think I want to purge bleed it out because we don't have that much bleed yet. Then sure-footed for the rage. We could play it once more. Keep the bite for later, perhaps. That makes sense. Can we light it up and draw blood? Encircle will inflict fear 1 and vulnerable 2. After drawing, discard cards equal to your fear value. Okay. I feel like we should be able to finish the fight pretty soon. Especially with the combo from the bite. Does combo stay over the turn? Let's drop the parry. Quick strike. Increases its frenzy by 1, then attacks. Oh. Overcharge a deck archetype. Seems like we have the potential for a bleed overcharge deck. Yeah, we do. But I haven't seen any cards that interact with overcharge yet, except for granting it, so I don't know. Trigger target creature's bleed. That's not swift, so we can't double that up with bite. I think we keep the bite in hand. I think we just go for the throat and then bleed it out for 20 damage. Discard, purge the draw blood. And the next turn we can block with bite as well, in case we don't have enough damage, but they're going down to 2, they should die. To any attack we draw here. Yeah, there we go. Nice! Not flawless, we took 3 damage, but still a lot of rewards. And the backup. Again, 5 volatile lighted up cards. Yeah, that really means we could benefit a lot from overcharge. Maybe the Soul Collector has something we can use to make overcharge better. So, the Soul Merchant taps the top of his jar. Some deal in gold, some deal in other forms of currency. Ablative Pauldron. The first instance of HP loss each combat is reduced by half. Common. Fan of Blades. Every third Swift card's played will cause all creatures to suffer bleed too. That seems really good. 4-leaf Clover. If a creature has bleed at the start of your turn, draw 1 card. That also seems good, but that's a bit too expensive. Random Artifact. Receive a random merchant trinket of any rarity. Draw Potion Pack. A draw potion. Increase your hand size by 1. Potion consumable. So potions are interesting in this game. You add them to your deck before the start of the fight, and they will trigger at the start of the fight and have an effect throughout the whole fight. So we could get an increased by 2 increased hand size, because this adds 2 draw potions for the boss fight. That seems quite good. I think that's better than Fan of Blades. 4-leaf Clover would be an instant pick from me if I was playing and could afford it. Yes, I think so too. That seems really good in this deck. Extra cards seem quite powerful because of the purge mechanic, so card draw is really valuable. We could also pick a blue Void Stone, draw 1 card, discard 1 card, so we can cycle through our deck quicker. I think here I'm gonna pick the draw potion pack and the blue Void Stone. Just because this tutorial ends after the first boss fight. So let's move to that. Skeleton King. Lord of Bones, Emperor of Dust, the Rattling Master. No matter the name he wears, he is ancient as he is cruel, and as eternal as the bones of all things. A fairly well-rounded fight with the ability to inflict fear. Killing his minions will heal the king himself. Let's manage the deck. We do want to use our Void Stones, and we do want to add potions. I'm gonna use both of these just because this is the final fight for us. Otherwise I will probably keep at least one of those for later. And let's apply blue Void Stones too. Enough, maybe? Seems like a decent card. And another For the Throat, because that's cheap and I'm gonna cast it often. Maybe against the boss we want something like kneecaps to apply some weak. No, let's just go with our default deck here. Draw potion. Your hand size is increased by X. So now we have 7 cards each turn available. Also, Guardian fight. Fights against Guardians, so bosses, are a little different. Often the Guardian will have minions alongside them. If you manage to kill the Guardian, their minions will automatically be destroyed and you will win the fight. So this fills up the battle progress completely, while this is only 1%. From dust. When this creature is destroyed, it will heal the Skeleton King by 4 HP. So yeah, I think we want to focus on the Skeleton King mostly. And they are attacking this turn, so I think it's a good opportunity to use our spell. Apply some bleed and weaken. And I think we want to start with For the Throats, because the bleed will add up over time. Let's discard the parry, we're not gonna play it this turn. Let's purge the bleeded out so we have some bleed on everyone. I'm interested in Bite for the Throat. Maybe not ideal. I think I should keep the Bite for next turn when we can actually block some damage with it as well. This will overcharge us, that's nice. Let's apply some more overcharge and then draw blood. And finally purge the draw blood. We already have a decent amount of overcharge, so we're not too worried about not triggering the head this turn. Okay, so 9 threat we have to deal with this turn. Bite will easily cover that. These are all attacking. So let's go with Bite. Now we have 2 combos, so For the Throat we'll get triple blade. That seems quite good. I think we also wanna purge the parry. Enter from Shadow. Deal some more damage. Possibly purge the Sure-Footed as well. We have the enough, which will be enough block for us next turn. Cost us only 9 damage incoming. Yeah, the card arts for Bite and enough being pretty much the same is a bit confusing. But I'm pretty sure they are gonna change that before the release. Fury will increase Frenzy by 1. Enrage increases attack power by 2. Okay, so once they have increased Frenzy, maybe we want to take these out, but I think not, because the Skeleton King is so close to dying already. Let's purge the parries and just defend with the enough. Oh, that will also trigger our... No, we didn't take that. I think I keep the Bite and discard a draw blood here. This is the one that makes a copy, so we can play that twice. And we gain an overcharge from our Wizard's Hat once we end the turn. We also gain a new Void Stone, another grey one, which is a ghost. Okay, so basically we've won because, yeah, our threat meter is empty and the Skeleton King will die. Can we speed it up? Maybe with Bite? There we go. That's all for the introduction mode. Well done on making it this far. Introduction mode was set up for new players to learn the game mechanics, how the deck manager and combat works. You've reached the end of the line on this difficulty. Now that you've experienced the game, you can jump into normal mode or harder for the full game experience.